Hello there. The reason you were looking at a rather scruffy looking Xbox controller and even more scruffy looking table is I'm doing a bit of an operation today. Basically, I play, other than the retro stuff that I play, I like to play stuff on the PC, on Steam. The problem is a lot of games, for example, Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2 and all its various spin-offs and so forth, aren't really geared. They're basically, unless you're an octopus, they're designed to really just be played on an Xbox controller. If you try and play them with keys, it's all over the place, and I tried remapping them and it was just very messy. So I was going to try and get hold of an Xbox 360 controller, because I actually don't have a 360, and get one of those adapter things and try and hook it all up. But I realised I have a spare Xbox original controller, a nice large one. So what I'm going to try and do is, the problem being the Xbox has its own weird proprietary adapter. Hang on. Yeah, sorry. This is the breakaway part of it. It's got its own big adapter, and then in turn that has a connector and this little. It looks a bit like a PS2 style controller, but it isn't. This then hooks into that, right? But the problem is it won't fit into a PC. But the thing is, what most people don't realise is it's actually USB technology. It's just obviously it doesn't look like USB, but it's the same basic idea as USB, and in theory I can splice it into a USB cable. So what I'm going to do is this, and again apologies because I'm doing this one-handed, is a USB extender. So you got the socket there and you got the plug there. What I'm going to try and do is basically connect the USB plug onto the Xbox controller. So I'm going to cut this bit off, put the USB plug on, and then this adapter here I'm going to connect to the socket. So the idea being, I can use it on my PC, and then when I want to use it on the Xbox, I can then basically hook all the cables back up and use it on an Xbox as well. So whether that works or not, we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to get cracking with this, and I'll try and show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So okay, let's go. Let's ruin an Xbox controller. Okay, what we're looking at here now is the Xbox controller cable, which is red, white, green and black. And there's a yellow cable down the bottom. I've cut it short, I'll tell you why in a second. And there's foil and there's some braid here. This is the USB cable, and as you can see the colour coding matches because it is a USB cable. The yellow cable, all we're going to do is we're going to cut that a bit shorter and cap it, just put a bit of insulating tape around it. Same with the braid. And the reason the yellow cable is there is it's used, as far as I know, just for light gun games and nothing else. So for the way I'm doing this, we don't really need it, so I'm just going to cap it off there. Now, it occurred to me after I started doing this that I could have used the actual brake cable, which is the cable that connects into the Xbox and then has a socket at the end of it, and then that's what this little small Xbox plug, if you like, at the end of the controller goes into. The idea being that if someone trips over a cable, it pops that out rather than pulling the Xbox down and crushing somebody to death, because it's huge. It occurred to me after I started this, I could have just done it with a breakout cable bit and save myself a bit of bother. But sure, I don't mind doing it the long way, and to be honest, I can't find the breakout bit, so there you go. But what you might want to do is, if you're doing this yourself, maybe do it with the breakout cable rather than the main bit of Xbox cable. Like I said, I'm going to put a USB socket on the. So basically, the way I'm going to do this is I'll be able to connect up to the Xbox again, but again, the breakout cable might have been a slightly safer way of doing it. So as I said, if you're doing it at home, if you're playing at home, folks, maybe use your breakout cable to do this. Anyway, hopefully we're going to do a jump cut in a second to this working. As I said, I'm going to connect all these cables up, and it's literally like for like, so red to red, white to white, green to green, black to black, and we'll insulate everything and hopefully get some drivers and see if it's working. Okay, just before I go to try and plug it in and get drivers working and so forth, hang on to see if I can get it to zoom in there a little bit. It's a bit messy looking, but this is basically, I soldered the 4 cables together, and if you can, the best thing for doing this, now I actually didn't use it myself really, but black insulating tape, cut off a little strip of it, and basically wrap it around. Once you solder each piece, wrap that around it. Better still, if you can get your hands on this tiny bit of it here, but shrink cable, it's even better. Anyway, I actually forgot to use the shrink cable until the end, so we'll have to get that bit of solder off that there. Yeah, so basically all you're really doing is just making 4 connections and then a bit of insulating tape around each of them. And then I put insulating tape around the 2 braids, what's left of them, just to make sure there's no connection there. And then I'm going to tape this last part up now, so hopefully we'll get this working. Okay, so yeah, just to round off, this is the controller here. Now, I don't know if you can see, the easy bit of doing this, believe it or not, is actually the hardware end of things. The downside is basically, I have Windows 8. There is no way to get it working with Windows 8. Microsoft completely abandoned it. Well, it isn't supposed to connect to a machine, to a PC anyway, but there's no support whatsoever for it. If you've Windows XP, there's a program called XBCD that you get, and it just installs the drivers and you work away. If you have Windows Vista or Windows 7, you have to get a program called DSEO. It basically, I'll include the links anyway in this, but it basically turns off the checking for drivers, security checking for drivers, because they're unsigned drivers, and newer versions of Windows don't like that. If you have Windows 8, you're screwed basically, because the guy that makes XBCD just says, no, I'm not supporting Windows 8, go away. I tried using a program called Motion Joy to get it working, but it's just a nightmare, so I've given up. So I'm just going to have to try and swap a couple of things and get hold of a wired controller for the 360. It's a pain in the ass because Steam loves the Xbox controller, and all Steam games love the Xbox controller, and nothing really supports the PS2 one, so you're having to remap everything, and it's a nightmare. Anyway, that's enough of that. But yeah, there you go. For anyone that's interested, it's the controller. There's a bit of have to have a bit of the old insulation tape there. I'm going to redo that and make it a little bit neater looking. But there you go. As I said, I'm going to basically push it in all the way. There we go. Yeah. So there you go. That's working, and I'll redo the socket that I showed you earlier on, so that I can plug that back into the breakout, and in turn plug that back into the Xbox and use it with the Xbox. But there you go. Hope that's some use to you. And again, it's only really, unfortunately, it's only really a runner with Windows XP or Vista or even Windows 7. Anything beyond that, and it's just at the moment you can't get it working. So just to let you know. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.